how to create interesting wave effects in Affinity Photo using the procedural texture filter. Create a layer, fill it with black via the Edit menu, Filters menu, Colours and Procedural Texture. Go to the top of the panel and the presets and select Waves. I'm going to use that as a start point for a preset. Change the RY to RY divided by B. Where you've got the RX, put RX divided by C. You can use that to create more intense as well as stretching out the waves. If you wish, save that as a preset via the right side menu and create preset. Add a bracket right at the start of the equation and add another bracket at the end. I'm going to use that equation, so select it all and copy. Add a plus sign, paste in the equation. I'm only going to have two parts to this equation, but you could extend it to 3, 4, 5, etc. Doesn't look very exciting at the moment. You can also change the plus into a minus. You'll then end up no result at all. I'm going to add some additional custom inputs. Go to the bottom of the panel and click the 0,1. That creates a D. Click the R twice to add E and F. In the second part of the equation, change the A to D, change the B to an E, and change the C to an F. Change the values for D, E and F so they don't match A and B and C. By changing the custom inputs, you can change the waves. So you can create all kinds of different wave designs using this approach. You could also copy the entire equation and put it into a red and green and blue channels and create colourful designs. For this tutorial, I'm just going to use RGB, so it's a grayscale design. With the fields that are R, you can actually create some very intense wave designs. So set the values to 0.2, 0.3, etc. Once you've created your preset, and I'm going to show you how to do that later, you can also go with value presets. If you create really interesting designs, what you can do, you can save a value preset at any point. As well as 0.2, you can also put things like minus 0.2 or minus 0.9, etc. Depending on the equation, this may or may not have any effect, or the result will be very subtle. If you would prefer sliders, what you can use is the 0,1, but then you have to use like 200 times B or 200 times C to get the same effect. The slider value only goes up to 1. Instead of using minus in between the two equations, you can use multiply or divide. Instead of a two-part equation, you could extend it to say like have 5 entries. So instead of just having a minus, you could have the equation, then minus, the equation, minus, etc. Or perhaps use divide, 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 and also introduce additional parameters for each of the equation parts. The equation is not sacrosanct. You can go to each part of it, say the Rx, and change the Rx into Rx minus Ry, etc. And that will create another variation of the wave. In the second part of the equation, change the Ry into Ry minus Rx. Put brackets around them. Instead of using SIN, you can also change it to COS. There are also many other possibilities such as OSC, SIN, etc. You can check those out in the Affinity Photo help. In the first part of the equation, change the first Rx into bracket Rx minus Ry bracket. As you're using Rx and Ry, you can move the origin of the effect around. Just drag on the preview. Once you're happy with your equation, go to the right side of the panel, there's a menu there, and create preset. Give it a category and give it a name. Click Create. Once you're finished, click Apply. And there you have your intense black and white design. I hope you found this tutorial of interest. I'm always adding new tutorials about Affinity Photo. Please subscribe to Graphic Extras. Please add a comment, also a dislike or like. Thank you much.